Word of Mouth is a recorded audio talk show not set in front of a live audience. Any unauthorized exhibition, distribution, or copying of this audio broadcast or any part thereof is an infringement of the relevant copyright and will subject the infringer to severe civil and criminal prosecution as well as the possibility of death of 1,000 sons. Listener discretion is advised.
Word of Mouth.
Good day, everyone! Welcome back to another episode of Word of Mouth. I am your host, Portier Folly, and I would like to introduce to you the second member of the band of prisoners from Lofhal Incarceration Center that will be taking part in the Race for Freedom initiative, held by Galen Goodfield. Hailing from the nation of Osmana, this fellow comes from a long line of a very strong military family. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you what he calls the black sheep of the family, post-exile, Erlan Vonmore. Okay, sir, please state your name and occupation for the record.
Well, my name is Erlan Vonmore. I'm a paladin, a sword fighter. Some say one of the best in the land. Scratch that. Some say the best in the land.
I love the attitude. That's so what's the word I'm looking for? I'm positive. That's the thing I'm looking for. You don't see it that often in the prison that you're in. I can tell because I was already here once interviewing somebody else, but yeah, so you're a paladin, or at least, you were until you became incarcerated or whatever. But, I want to learn a little bit more about Erlan. So why don't you take it back and you just tell me a little bit more about yourself, like what you used to do, what kind of hobbies you were interested in before you were incarcerated.
Well, hell, that's a long story now. I used to be a soldier for the legions of the nation of Osmana. Now, I was highly decorated, I've been through, countless battles, suffered many wounds, lost a lot of friends.
That must be very tough for you.
It is, but, that's a life. My family we're all military. Truth be told, I'm kind of the black sheep of them because all my brothers are higher ranking officers, and well, my dad's a commander. He's actually a general. He's command of the legion I was a part of before I was, let's say, exiled. But as for hobbies, shit. I like drinking, like fighting, like training. I do some reading, but obviously I haven't done much lately. And not a whole hell of a lot to read in this here prison. I used to be pretty good at dragon chess too. Some say that's the best way to learn how to fight a war is to play a game involving a war,
So war runs pretty deep within your family, I would say, huh?
It sure does. My whole family's committed to the idea of service. So while many others, hide behind, no, I shouldn't say hide, enjoy the protection of individuals ready to stand against the forces of evil out there, my family, we all decided to be the ones to stand against the forces of evil. So that's what we do.
Wow, a true warrior, a true paladin warrior. So it's crazy to me, and I'm sure that there are many people that are thinking this as well, but somebody who was put in such a highly decorated family and was part of a war, how did you end up in prison? I know that you said you were exiled, but that doesn't always, automatically mean jail.
Well, so in my nation, when you get exiled, especially if you're in the in the profession of arms as I was in, you get sent out into the world, and what you're supposed to do is try to find a cause noble enough to prove to your superiors, the leaders of our nation, that while you made a mistake, you still got what it takes to be a good soldier, good defender of our nation. I got incarcerated. I was out trying to find that noble cause. Well, came across the wrong set of guys. Got in a fight, killed a bunch of them, and well, local law enforcement didn't seem to take too kindly to that. So they stripped me of all my gear and threw me in this here prison, and I've been here ever since.
So, I think it's safe to say that at this point you are a former paladin warrior. I'm not saying that you're not a paladin, but you at least are no longer a warrior in that aspect because you've lost all of your armor and gear and I mean, you've been incarcerated for however long, but because you've been doing all of that, and because you're here and you are suffering for the crimes that you committed, being murder, would you say that you fell from the graces of the religion your people fought so hard to defend?
Well, I wouldn't say I fell far from the religion. You see, we're a Norse peoples. We follow Norse pantheon. So if you know anything about that, killing is kind of a part of it. Especially the fact that I'm a devout follower of the goddess Sif, the goddess of war. And as long as you're killing for the right reason, it's not really a problem. Now, I was defending myself when I killed those guys, so I'd say that was the right reason. But well, those boys in that town, well, shit, they didn't really think that.
Yeah, you kill one person and it's fine and dandy. You kill a whole group of people that are talking bad to you, and all of a sudden the whole town's gone against you. Personally, I don't understand it.
Truth be told, it's not that they were talking bad; it's that they drew weapons on me, and I was forced to defend myself. And like I said, the local town watch didn't like that too much. They felt that they should be the only ones doing the killing, and well, I ain't just gonna sit there and get poked full of holes just because some blue coat guys think that they should be the only ones fucking defending themselves.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. It's actually it's interesting because you talked about your relationship with your North mythos and Sif, the goddess of war. As you know, we toured your cell and saw that you had a lot of carved holy symbols and one list just written over and over again called Noble Principles. Can you expand on that a little bit for the listeners, or has the lack of the light drawn your mind to chaos and madness?
It hasn't really drawn me to chaos and madness just yet. I still try to abide by my core principles as much as possible, but I won't lie to you, it's starting to get a little tough. Not being able to see the light, not being able to worship as I once was, and well, now that don't really have a war to fight, shit, I don't even know. But we'll see. Hopefully, once I get out of here and get on that boat and try to get out of here, I won't let that lizard person, Kelbrix, corrupt who I
Yes,
am.
I've heard many things already about Kelbrix. I cannot wait to meet that vile creature. I'm surprised that Kelbrix made his way
Well,
out.
well, he's an interesting character. I'll tell you what. Yeah, shit. I don't even know how he can live with himself going through his days. I think there's something good in him, but well, I've been wrong before.
Speaking of being wrong, do you believe that you can salvage relationships with those who exiled you, or anyone that may have wronged you, or that you may have wronged, or vice versa? I just know that being a paladin, you're sworn to your own principles. So I was just curious to see if there was any ability to forgive and continue forward.
Well, I tell you, I can forgive, but I'm not sure they can. They're kind of old school, if you will. They're kind of once you break that trust, they're not so easy to forgive. But we'll see. Hopefully, I can. And hopefully, they will. I've already forgiven them because, well, even though I made a mistake, they were in the right.
Okay.
So
Yeah, no, I think that's very noble of you. Admit that 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 there were wrongs and rights, and if there's something that you think you did incorrectly, that you own up to it. I think that's very noble of you, and it's honorable in a way. So we have one final question, sponsored by the Race for Freedom Initiative, the Galen Goodfield backed race that you and three other comrades from the prison will take on. Say you win the Race for Freedom. Say you're able to be free from the shackles once more. Is there any big plans that you have that you'd like to do, or anything that you would like to fulfill once you're free?
well, truth be told, no big plans just yet. My focus is on the mission and getting us to win this race as quickly and efficiently as possible. But if I had to have one plan, one big hope to come out of this, I'd hope to be able to go back home and kind of take my place back among my family and among my comrades. That would be the ideal situation. But like I said, we're gonna take it one day at a time. We're gonna see once we get there.
Well, Erlan, I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today. And for those who are listening, you can catch Erlan during the Race for Freedom coming up here. And we hope for the best, Erlan. We truly do. And we'll be hearing more from you very, very soon.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Very nice. Okay, I have to go. I have to go interview gelatinous cube thing. I don't know. Interesting fellow, but I guess we'll see when we get there.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to chime in here at the end and say thank you again for listening to our second interview with Erlan Vonmore in the Race for Freedom campaign hosted by Tales from the Dragon's Den. If you guys did like that, make sure to give us a good rating if you can. And if you want to check out our socials, you can do so over on Twitter at Real Dragon's Den and everywhere else at Dragon's Den Podcast. And if you want to support the podcast and the campaign, you can do so over on our Patreon, patreon.com/Dragon's Den Podcast. And I'll catch you guys next week when we interview Bont the Viscous.